Rockville Library, which is part of the Pamunkey Regional Library. And today, we're going to have a story time. Woo! But first things first, we have to sing the welcome song. Do you remember the welcome song? Yeah? Yeah, you do. Sing it with me. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Make your hands all nice and neat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. Are you sitting down? Yeah, you are. I believe you. So, what do you think our story time is going to be about today? What do you think? If you look at these books, maybe you'll get a clue. What's story time about today? Yeah! Today's story time is about kindness. Oh, kindness. It's very important. Do you know the Spanish word for kindness? Let me tell you. It is long, so I'm going to say it slowly. It's amabilidad. Whew. That's a long one. Amabilidad. 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 You want to practice some? Yeah. This book is Counting Kindness. So it's counting amabilidad. Good job. What about this one? It's the ABCs of kindness. So it's the ABCs of amabilidad. Good job. What about this one? The power of one. Every kindness counts. It's every amabilidad counts. Good job. You're so good at speaking Spanish. You are. It's true. Are you ready for our first book? Yeah, of course you are. It is this one. Finding Kindness by Deborah Underwood and illustrated by Irene Chan. Finding Kindness. Kindness is sometimes a cup and a card. Or a ladder, a truck, and a tree. A scritch and a cuddle, a rake and a yard, a cookie, a carrot, a key. It's seeds and a feeder, a seat on the train. A daisy, peach, or a pie, a wave at a baker, a boost on a crane, a sandwich shared up in the sky. Kindness is sometimes a tip in a case or a tap when a lace is untied. It's taking a photo or making some space. It's a racket, a rocket, a ride. It's dirt and a shovel, petunias and pails. It's trees that will someday give shade. It's plans and a hammer. It's lumber and nails. It's houses and cold lemonade. Kindness is sometimes just taking a break or sitting with someone who's sad. Forgiving yourself when you've made a mistake or forgiving a friend who got mad. It's cuddling puppies or holding a door. It's a toy and a treat and a comb. It's seeing the animals others ignore. It's a leash and a lick and a home. Kindness is sometimes a song or a stick or a hi and a bat and a ball. It's soup when a neighbor is sneezy and sick, or a scoop if one happens to fall. It's reading a story, it's feeding a fish. It's a bucket, a book, and a yard. It's kissing a sister. It's wishing a wish. It's a bug, and a cup, and a card. The end. Aw, I like that book. Kindness, it's a great thing, don't you know? Yeah, it's kindness. No. 3, 2, 1. Aw, I like that book. Did you like that book? Yeah, it's a book about kindness. You gotta like it. It's true. Do you want to sing a song about kindness? Yeah, let's do it. Ready? Spread kindness all around, spread kindness all around. Be kind to everyone you meet. Spread kindness all around. Be kind to your mom, be kind to your dad. Be kind to all your family, spread kindness all around. Be kind to your friends, at home and at school. Be kind to all your neighbors too. Spread kindness all around. Be kind to your pets. Be kind to the birds. Be kind to all the animals. Spread kindness all around. Spread kindness at home and when you go out. Spread kindness everywhere you go. Spread kindness all around. Good job. Good singing. It's a fun song. All different things about kindness. Everything deserves kindness. All right. Do you want to read our next book? Yeah. It's this one. The Little Things. Words by Kristen Trimmer and art by Keilani Juanita. The Little Things. A little girl who much preferred the look of 3 pigtails to 2, and who loved the way wet sand squished between her toes, walked down the dock one day after a mighty storm. There on the beach were thousands of sea stars washed ashore by the violent waves. She raced to one and tossed it back into the ocean. She quickly picked up another and another and another, ushering each back into the safety of the water. Just then, an old man who had the habit of misplacing his glasses and who also loved the way wet sand squished between his toes, came by. "What are you doing, little girl?" he asked. "What do you mean, what am I doing?" shouted the girl who liked 3 pigtails and sand between her toes. She also had a strong sense of self. "I'm saving these sea stars." The old man was taken aback. "It's just, there are so many sea stars. What's the point? You won't be able to save them all." "Of course I can't save them all," replied the little girl. She carefully tossed another sea star into the ocean. "But I saved that one, didn't I?" The old man had to admit the little girl had a point. He picked up a sea star and placed it back in the water. Later that day, the old man headed to the animal shelter with his grandson, who liked butter on his noodles and brightly colored shoelaces. "What are we doing here, Grandpa?" asked the little boy. "I'm going to rescue a dog," the old man said. The boy looked around. There were many animals who needed rescuing after the storm. "Taking home one dog isn't going to make much of a difference," he said. "That may be so," his grandpa replied. "But it sure will make a difference to this little guy, don't you think?" The little boy had to admit his grandpa had a point. The next day, after a lunch of buttered noodles, the boy headed to his neighbor's house. There lived an elderly lady who had once been a professional dancer and who loved butterflies. "I'm here to clean up your garden," the little boy said to the elderly lady. The storm had torn up her flower beds and tossed garbage all over her yard. "That would be lovely," replied the elderly lady, doing a graceful plie. As the little boy worked, a teenager who listened to classical music very loudly on her headphones and who just couldn't be bothered happened by. "Hey, kid," she said, taking off her headphones. "What are you doing?" "I'm cleaning up this lady's yard," he replied. "Look around, kid. The storm messed up this whole block. What's the point of cleaning one yard?" asked the teenager, even though the kid was doing a good job. Not that she'd ever say that to him. The elderly lady chimed in. "This little boy has done more than just clean my yard, young lady," she said. "He has lifted my spirits. You could learn a thing or two from him." The elderly lady had a point, though the teenager would never admit that out loud. Still, she gave the woman a nod, and the little boy a high five. The next morning, the teenager packed an extra lunch and gave it to the homeless man outside the coffee shop, even though she knew that there were many in need of a meal. Then a little girl, with one missing front tooth and another wiggly one, took all the money she had received from the tooth fairy and gave it to charity. Then she wiggled the other tooth to help it along. The little girl's mom, who made scrumptious cupcakes, gooey brownies, and mouth-watering cookies, along with some equally delicious gluten-free options. Quickly organized a fundraiser, which inspired a young man with a great sense of style and real acting chops to volunteer at the school. Which moved a whole class of students to donate their time to fix up a house that had been damaged by the storm. Which led to more ideas, more generosity, more kindness, and more action. Not too long after that, another storm moved through the town. The next morning, the little girl with 3 pigtails raced to the end of the dock, only to find the little girl walked up to the old man and gently tapped him on the shoulder. "Now do you get it?" she asked. The old man did. The end. Wow, I like that book. One kindness makes other kindness. Yeah, one girl doing a kind thing makes other people do kind things too. Kindness is great. Do you want to sing a song about kindness? A different song. Yeah? Okay. Sing it with me. If you're kind and you know it, clap your hands. If you're kind and you know it, clap your hands. If you're kind and you know it, then you really want to show it. If you're kind and you know it, clap your hands. Yeah, you're kind. Are you helpful? Oh. If you're helpful and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're helpful and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're helpful and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're helpful and you know it, stomp your feet. Good job. Very helpful. Let's see. Are you thoughtful? Do you think about other people? Yeah, you think about being kind to other people. Oh, thoughtful. If you're thoughtful and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're thoughtful and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're thoughtful and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're thoughtful and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! Good job! We're kind, we're helpful, and we're thoughtful. Those are 3 great things to be. All right, do you want to read our last book? Yeah, it is this one. Goat's Coat by Tom Percival. Illustrated by Christine Pym. Goat's Coat. Let me tell you the tale of Alfonso the goat, who was terribly proud of his lovely new coat. It had bright shiny buttons all made out of glass and a collar the color of freshly cut grass. People turned to admire as Alfonso walked by. "What a marvelous coat," he heard someone sigh. Alfonso was happy. He pranced and he skipped. Then he heard a sad noise croaking out of a ditch. Deep down in the ditch was a family of frogs. They used to live there in a mossy old log. But the log wasn't there. It had rotted away, and the frogs from the log now had nowhere to stay. The frogs were distraught. "Please help us," they cried, and Alfonso felt sorry for them, so he tried. He unpicked some stitches upon his new coat and using the fabric helped make them a boat. The frogs were delighted. He'd just made their day. "Oh, thank you," they croaked as they all sailed away. Alfonso's new coat didn't look quite so smart, but he felt a warm glow in the depths of his heart. He clipped happily on till he came to a shed. The sound from within filled Alfonso with dread. What could possibly make such a sad sound as that? Alfonso peered in, and then he saw it. A cat. was trembling and terribly pale. It was clear to see that she'd hurt her tail. Alfonso got busy and cleaned up the cut. Then he used his coat. He bandaged it up. The cat was so glad, so grateful and happy, but Alfonso's coat was now looking quite ratty. He clip-clopped along through the crisp winter's day. He was whistling a song when a hen came his way. The hen was upset she'd lost one of her chicks. Could this be something Alfonso could fix? Together the hen and Alfonso looked around, but the hen's little chick just couldn't be found. Then somewhere up high, a voice cried, "Help me!" And there was the chick stuck up in a tree. So Alfonso removed even more of his coat and tied it together to make a long rope. He gritted his teeth, then climbed up like a rocket. He came down again with the chick in his pocket. Alfonso's new coat was now looking a mess. Still, what's done is done. It was all for the best. As Alfonso walked on, there were more problems still, but he helped solve them all with his coat and his skill. Alfonso's new coat was now just a few threads, but he thought of the good deeds that he'd done instead. The weather grew colder. Snow fell all around. Poor coatless Alfonso trudged back towards town. The blizzard grew worse. It got colder and colder. Alfonso took shelter behind a large boulder. Alfonso was freezing, and night would soon fall, and so he curled up in a cold little ball. But then he heard voices ring out through the night. Someone was shining around a bright light. Here came the frogs and the cat and the hen. He wasn't alone. He'd been found by his friends. Seeing them all made Alfonso feel better. And not only that, they brought him a sweater. They had made it themselves from the things they could find, a gift to Alfonso for being so kind. And so our dear goat had made best friends forever, and he wore his new sweater, whatever the weather. The end. I like that book. That goat is so kind. It gives away his whole coat. And then his friends give him a sweater. That's so kind. Kindness makes kindness. Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. So, this is the end of story time. Yeah, it's gone by fast, huh? Do you remember the goodbye song? Remember how to sing it? Yeah. Ready? Thanks for sitting, thanks for listening, thanks for coming here today. Now that story time is over, hope you have a lovely day. Ah, but before we say goodbye, we gotta do the craft. We gotta do it. Today's craft is a kindness cloud. A kindness cloud. We're gonna write things about yourself, or about your mom, or about your dad, or about your friends, or about your turtle. If you have a turtle. I don't know. But all you need to do is draw or cut out a cloud and write the person's name on it. And then you have to cut out strips of paper and write kind things about them on the paper. And then glue it so that the cloud is raining kindness. So these ones say happy and helpful and thoughtful and smart and funny. Yeah, a kindness cloud. That's fun. Okay, now go out and spread some kindness. Bye-bye.